Shalawam. First, I want to give all praises to the Most High YAHAWAH, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Peace, salutations to the Akim out here, to the brothers out here pushing this truth with all humbleness and sincerity, and a few sisters who are learning in silence, as the scriptures say, with our respect. I want to get right into this. It might be a little noisy. I'm on the walk, but I want to jump right into this HANTAVIRUS, right? And then we're going to go over some scriptures and we're going to get right into it, right? Because I believe I talked about recently how the elect, right? And when I say the elect, right, that's the 144K and then, you know, the 1/3. Because on this side of the truth, right? I mean, on this side of the kingdom of heaven, if you will, right? It's only for the elect. 2/3 of all of Israel, meaning all you Hebrew people out there, right? Like people like to say black people and yada yada, if you will, right? And I don't mean by skin tone. I'm just saying Negroid, if you will, right? From Jacob, if you will. Most of us gonna be cut off, and most of the 2/3, right? According to the scriptures, most of the 2/3. They're all going to be, well, not most, all of the 2/3 are going to be cut off. It's going to be 1/3 of us left. Now, I'm saying that to say this, right? Because the Most High says, those of us who are rehearsing the righteous acts, meaning who are keeping the law and got faith on this side, you got to have both, right? Faith and works. We're going to be the ones to be able to understand everything, explain everything. But just like, because we're regenerated, just like the Lord YAHAWAH, the disciples, etc. in the past, right? We're going to be rejected. Most people are going to shun us. They're going to come back 5, 8, 9, 10 years later to us and be like, man, you was right. So I'm going to get right into this. So with this HANTAVIRUS, as you can see, I'm going to just read through just a little bit of it, right? Right? I'm going to just get to a little bit of it, right? So most of the people who were in... there we go, right there. So the 16 people, 16 people who were on that so-called cruise ship, and it wasn't even a cruise ship. Pull up that ship. Anyway, we can see straight through this. They all back in Nebraska right now. They transferred more than half of them to Atlanta. Okay, right. So they kept all 16 and they brought them back. Right. So my focus is just not on this virus. It's just like COVID, right? Like I and other Hebrews have showed you before. Right. So matter of fact, let's just get right into that. Right. Because the Most High put it on our spirit. He put it on our spirit to have understanding, because, you know, we're regenerated right now. Right. So what you're doing right now, what we doing right now. Right. You come across a righteous Israelite. You come across a brother. We're regenerated, or aka reincarnated, etc. What you're doing right now is the same thing you was doing back in Rome. If you worshiping Jesus, Zeus, all this other stuff, you going to them ecclesias, them Circes, them cirques, right? If you going to them churches, you was doing the same thing back in Corinthia. You was doing the same thing back in Galatia. You was worshiping Zeus. You was worshiping the god of the Edomites. So if you doing that right now, that's the same thing you was doing back in Rome when the Lord YAHAWAH was walking and the disciples. If you are a priest, a prophet, a disciple, one of us out here teaching, you was doing the same thing back then, because we are that same generation. We're just back right now, right? Reincarnation, regeneration is all over the scriptures. Our people just don't understand it. That's why a lot of y'all having deja vu right now, right? So let me stay on topic. That's another topic, right? So Psalms 111 and verse 10, right? For the fear of YAHAWAH is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding. So in order to have a good understanding about everything in this world, in order to have eyes to see but can see, ears to hear but can hear, etc., you have to be keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, because that's how the Most High is able to unlock your body, unlock your vessel, and give you wisdom, give you sight. I got people who texting me, calling me, come up to us on the street, thousands of people, right? I'm going to just say this. I've met several thousands of people over the last 7 years, right? I have not met one person who did not take that corona jab who regretted it. I have not met one person who did not take it. You say, man, I wish I would have went ahead and took that corona jab. I didn't take it, and I ended up getting corona, right? But I wish I would have took the jab. No, but I've met thousands of people who took the jab and be like, dang, why did I take that? Why? Now I'm having a hard time breathing. Now I can't do this. Now my period cycle is off. Now I got blood clots. Now I got heart problems. Now I can't go to 24-hour fitness every weekend like I used to. Or they're unalived due to cancer, HIV, or blood clots, or heart attacks, or they might say aneurysm, but all that's a blood clot. Anyway, let me stay on this, right? Right? And this goes with it, right? Psalm verse 111 and verse 10. The fear of Yahawah, that's the beginning of wisdom, right? A good understanding of everything, right? Have all they that do his commandments, right? His praises endure forever. So in order to have, listen, according to the Most High himself, your counselors, your therapists, your guidance counselors, your advisors are the men of Israel. You need to find you a righteous Israelite. You're not going to like what we have to say the first or second or third time. You're not going to like it because you've been going to your therapist. You've been counseled by these satanic pastors that's telling you lies. When we give you the answer, we always use the Bible every time, like the Most High tells us, right? In Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. If we don't give you guidance according to what the Most High says, you're not going to agree with it. I mean, according to what the law says, you're going to reject it. Okay? So a good understanding of life, physical, spiritual, emotional, financial guidance, all of that, you got to go to a man of Israel. Not your Christian pastor, not Prestonwood Church in Dallas, not Fellowship Church, not Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes, right? Not Peter Popoff. Not One Community Church, not Hillsong Church in New York. No, you got to go to the men of Israel, the ones you don't like hearing. We're going to give you the truth. That's what he says, right? So Psalms 111 and 10, again, the fear of Yahawah is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. The commandments are written in the law. There's 613 of them, right? All right, so now, since I mentioned wisdom, let me get right into this. I like to do this. In order to be smart, and I never forget, one of the elders had showed me this, right? It don't matter how many degrees, anything like that I have or others have. He said, well, you know, young man, this about 13 years ago. He's like, you know, in order to be smart, according to God, you know what it is? According to Yahawah, you know what it is? I'm like, well, no. This is being smart. It didn't matter how many accolades I had, how many dean's lists, straight A, B on the roll. He said, none of that means nothing. This is having knowledge, wisdom, and understanding according to the creator of heaven and earth. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Right? Well, I started verse 5. Right? Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahawah has commanded me, that you shall do so in the land whether you go to possess it, meaning wherever you are, worldwide, whether you're in slavery or not, because there was prophecy that we was going to be in slavery. He said, no matter where you at, you better do these commandments, right? Let's keep going. Keep, therefore, and do them. It does not say do them until the Lord come and he died for your sins and you can do whatever the heck you want to do. No. Keep, therefore, and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people, meaning they smarter, they're more intelligent, they're more athletic, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. See, the other nations, we all have spirits, because the Most High is the Father of spirits, but only the Israelites have souls. That's why we the only ones, we ain't enslaved people, we ain't did. That's why we naturally, they call it soul food, right? Now, the soul food for us is in Leviticus. But they switched it up, and now they call our soul food what they fed us during slavery. Shrimp, pork, lobster, crab, oxtails, the tail of an ox. Man, I ain't eating nobody's tail. Y'all nasty as hell, right? Crawfish, mud bugs. Okay, so with that understanding, all that who have a good understanding of what's going on in the world, and I'm going to get on this HANTAVIRUS, are only those who keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So by doing so, like the disciple James said, he said, I'm going to show you my faith by my works. So by keeping the law, I'm showing you my faith, right? No Christians say, faith without works is dead. And they talking to themselves. Y'all got faith, but you ain't keeping no laws, no statutes, no commandments, no understanding. All of that means the law. How you going to say the law's done away, but then you say you got faith? That's what the disciple James was telling all the people in Ephesia, Galatia, and Corinthians, in them same books. That's what he was telling them. It was like, man, y'all saying y'all got faith, but you ain't got no works. I'm telling you it's first fruits and it's Passover and it's the Sabbath, right? And atonement coming up. And Feast of Tabernacles coming up. And you over here talking to me about Mother's Day and Father's Day. Merry Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving. You ain't got, no, I don't want to hear that. Matter of fact, I'm going to get there later. Right? Let's get back into Revelations, right? And then I'm going to get into this, what I'm talking about. Revelations 13, right? Verse 18, right? And I mentioned corona. Look up the word corona, right? And do the alphabetic numeration of it. Corona spells out 666, right? So all those who took that Satan juice, then that stuff to alter your DNA, it's already in you. I don't care what type of help, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram pages you follow, they try to give you stuff to detox and all that. It's too late. It's already in you. You're not getting it out. Because at some point, everybody in the four corners, you have came across the Israelite at some point, or you came across this word at some point, and we've told you and you rejected it. That's how the word was going to reach to the four corners of the earth. Christianity been reached to the four corners of the earth. White Zeus, Jesus, been reached to the four corners of the earth. The Most High would have came back already. People forget that prophecy. Say, hey, once this true word reached to the four corners, that World War III gonna pop off and I'm back. Christianity been reached to the four corners of the earth. Many years ago, hundreds of years ago, because it ain't the truth. Process of elimination. All right, here we go. Revelation 13, verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. Corona spelled out 666. This is why none of the righteous Israelites, we never took that jab, right? And the righteous Israelites, not them in GOCC and them other fraud Israelites, as y'all seeing now, you looking at Genesis and Sakari, and now y'all realize that those of us who really in truth and humbleness been told y'all that they fraud, taking donations, taking money for you to be life coaches. Now the real Israelites, we gonna give it to you for free, 99, like the Lord YAHAWAH said. Now y'all finding out they frauds, right? And baddie boys and stuff. They told you to take it. We're telling you right now, just like with Corona, it's 666. Do not take it. You didn't listen then. They finna come out with this new virus, or what they say is a new virus, right? Those of us who keep the commandments. I was talking to Akim about 3 days ago, right? And I didn't know what he was talking about because I barely watched the news, right? And so I just pulled that up on CNN, and when he said HANTA, I thought he said Khan or Shakan. I was like, wait, what? And when he said it, my mind instantly went to, matter of fact, let's get there. My mind instantly went, right? Because I thought what he said, right? Right. So HANTA in ancient Hebrew, right? So Christians, your pastor ain't no, ancient Hebrew is the Paleo Hebrew. The word HANTA means nonsense, a lie, a scam, or fake. So the word HANTAVIRUS means fake virus. Just like the coronavirus. It was fake. It means fraud, a scam, nonsense, full of crap in the ancient Hebrew, right? So here is wisdom. So when he said that, I instantly was like, wait, you talking about I'm fake? I thought Ak was telling me I'm fake. But he said, no, HANTAVIRUS. I said, man, what is that? Well, a few people last week went out on a cruise ship and they got, and I was like, oh, you know that word HANTA, if that's what you said, you know that means fraud, it means fake, it means deceitful. And in the ancient tongue, it means deceiver, devil. It goes along with the number 666 that's written on the Monster Energy drink. But anyway, let's keep going, right? So those who got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we're going to be able to see this stuff, right, and bring it out. Matter of fact, let's stay in the New Testament, right? And everybody know about this one. I believe it's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Right. So the Most High, he talking to the Israelites, right? So when they push all this out, like Corona, because that spells out 666, right? That's why I say it's here is wisdom, right? We're able to spot it out, right? And I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 19, because it says in the end times here in Babylon, the righteous Israelite, we was going to start back speaking in tongues. That ain't talking about your pastor, because you don't understand what he's saying. We're going to speak the language of Canaan or Canaan, meaning the ancient Paleo Hebrew. We're going to be able to speak it, read it, write it, understand it. That's the prophecy. Matter of fact, let me just get it now, right? We're going to just get that right now, right? That's Isaiah. Is it 19? I believe it's Isaiah. Oh, so like I went to Ezekiel. Isaiah chapter 19. Right? There it is. Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to start right here because this is World War III. Isaiah chapter 19, we're going to start at verse 2. And this is the Most High Yahawah talking. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. This is World War III. This is why you're going to see Russia, right? You're going to see all the so-called Edomites and Amalek fighting each other. Russia, Israel, France, Italy, Spain, Espanol, Argentina, all them. You're going to see all them fighting against Babylon. He's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. I don't care what you say. If you ask any so-called black person, Hebrew person, whatever, Negro, you ask them, they're going to say, man, they all the same. I don't care if I'm in France, the United Kingdom, Germany, man, they all the same. They still Edomites. I don't care. That's what he's saying. He's going to set the Egyptians, verse 2, he's going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. They all the same. They all pat their hand in on the slave and the Israelites. And everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Didn't the Lord tell us that in the New Testament, in Revelations, and in the book of Matthew? He's going to set everybody against each other, right? And look at verse 3. Here we go. And the spirit of Egypt, to my here in Babylon, America, shall fail in the midst thereof. I will destroy the counsel thereof, meaning their counsel. These your pastors. Is this why most people realizing that, wait a minute, the Lord's name not even Jesus. The letter J didn't exist 500 years ago. So I've been praying to Caesar Borgia. Who I've been praying to? If it says all that call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, and the letter J didn't exist until when we went into slavery, who the hell have I been praying to? They starting to wake up. He going to destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols. They just build a golden statue of Trump in Mar-a-Lago. Google it. And to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. These your manifestors, your vision boarders, right? The women who created BLM, all that. They're going to turn to all of that, right? That's the beginning of it. Let me get down to exactly where I want to be, right? Let me get right down to where it says, all right, there we go. Isaiah 19, right? And verse 18. And in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan, right? Meaning we're going to speak the ancient and the Paleo Hebrew. Like what we're able to talk now. So when, at the beginning, a lot of the righteous brothers, they say Shalawam, Barakatah Yahawah Bashem Yahushua, right? They saying, yo, peace unto you, the blessing your house, right? And they saying all praises to Yahawah, meaning that's God's real name, Bahashem, in the name of Yahawashi, which is the real name of the Lord. It's not Jesus, it's Yahawashi. So he said, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt, we here in Babylon, America, these the high points, we going to speak the language of Canaan, we going to swear unto Yahawah, right? One shall be called the city of destruction, meaning we going to be telling everybody, this place is about to be destroyed. All the prophets of the past have always, when they hear the Israelites come out, they know that their time is up. That's why they're building bunkers. They're doing all this. They see us out here teaching on the streets, podcasts, Twitter, Rumble, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the other streaming things are. They see all of this and they understand, like every major kingdom, when they see the Israelites had a spirit back on them, they know that their time is up. This is what we're seeing present day, okay? So once this is back on us, we're going to be able to, Israelites, not everybody, the righteous ones, right? The elect, the 144 and the 1/3, we're going to be able to see through their BS. We're going to be able to see years ahead of time. I remember back in 2013, 2014, I was telling people, hey, something finna come, and they're going to start to lock people up. Concentration camps, or I just saw us locked away, meaning locked in our houses. Don't comply, don't do it. And that was Corona. A lot of other Israelites brothers have had the same thing, and they've been teaching people 5, 6, 10 years before Corona even came. Now here's the next one. Corona means 666. HANTA means fake, a lie, a scam, deceitful. It's a fake virus, and it's from rat poop and urine and all that. New York is one of the most infested places with rats. New York, Boston, London, and the entire world. Why is it not there? You can walk down the street, rat pooping, rat peeing, all in the subway, Boston, the T, DC, the metro, rats running around. Why is it not there? And all those who took that Corona jab, right, they already got it in them. See, this is why I tell people, nobody who is not serving Yahawah, they can't give you advice on God, his name, what to do in this world at all. That's Psalms 111 verse 10. Don't hear them. But you got the majority of Christians are jabbed up, calling on the wrong name and trying to tell you where God is and what righteousness is and what to do this. Man, ignore them. They don't know nothing. Because they didn't even know what it took or what it takes to save their own lives. How they going to tell you? Right? Now let's keep going. Let's go back to New Testament, 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, right? Verse 3, right? Let no man deceive you by any means. Now he's talking to the Israelites. He said, hey, don't let nobody deceive you by any means. No means, well, Malcolm X, any means necessary. Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. They're going to fall away from the law. Everyone, when we got into captivity in Babylon, America, and the other diasporas in the 1400s, everyone fell away from the law. All the Hebrew people were still keeping the law until we got in slavery. I challenge any Christian to go research, pull all that up. When the Israelites stopped keeping the law was when we went into captivity here in Babylon, America, in the 14 and 1500s, and over in Europe. That was the falling away. They put the doctrine of the Nicolaitans on us, and the Edomites and Zeus on us. Right? So he said, don't let them deceive you, except they're coming falling away first. And that man of sin, right, be revealed, the son of perdition, right? Now, the devil, according to the Bible, is Amalek and Esau, right? And so we know now, if you don't know, we know who the man of sin is, the nation of sin. We know it's the Edomites. We know it's Amalek. We know it's Trump. We know this, right? Who opposed it and exalted himself above all that is called Yahawah, or that is worship, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Go and pull up that new statue that's that he built in Mar-a-Lago. He built a gold statue of himself, right? Let me keep going. There's just more on there. Let me keep going, right? Let me keep going. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things. So this is the Lord Yahawah. He's saying like, yo, remember. He's saying remember because we are that same generation. Remember, I told y'all what was going to happen. So in the end times, you better remember this stuff because y'all going to be them in the end times, right? And now you know, withhold it, that he might be revealed in his time, right? I'm going to skip in. I'm going to just get right to it, right? I'm going to just get right to verse 10. Here we go. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 10, right? And with all deceivableness and all unrighteousness in them that perish. So he has all deceivableness, all unrighteousness, meaning all unlawfulness, because the word righteousness means law. All unlawfulness, right? In them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth. The word truth means law. That they might be saved, because you got to have faith and works. You got to be keeping the law and have faith that by you keeping the commandments, by you keeping the law, you're going to be saved, right? And for this cause, because they rejected it, this is everybody we run to on the street. I haven't met one person who keeping the law of Yahawah that took the jab. Why? Because we understand the law. He also says don't inject them foreign agents into your body. So it's judgment. Your mama died of cancer, heart attack, HIV, AIDS, etc. All this stuff within the last few years. Guess what? It's judgment. They weren't keeping the law. It's judgment. Right? Verse 11. And for this cause Yahawah shall send them strong delusions that they shall believe a lie. HANTA, going back to Kanta or Chanta, right? It's a lie, a fake story. It's a fake virus. It's a lie. So if you ain't keeping the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, if you ain't around a righteous Israelite, the Most High, he sent you that strong delusion about wearing a mask when you go into a damn restaurant. You sit down at the table, but you can take the mask off when you sit down. Oh, wait, but when you stand up, the virus is hovering at 4 feet. Put it back on. Oh, wait, stand 6 feet. I'm glad the virus couldn't move diagonal or sideways. Hey, I'm glad the virus couldn't play checkers and move sideways. It only can move up and down, not left and right, diagonal. See how dumb it sounds now? But the Israelites been telling you, don't do that. What are y'all doing? Right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going because there's more in there, right? Let me get the Psalms, right? And so in other words, the righteous, we're able to see through their lies as we just read. That's Psalms 119 and 142. I love going to this one, right? Because I said righteousness. The righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and the law is the truth. So when we just read in 2 Thessalonians, right, that they didn't receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved, they didn't receive that they should be keeping the law. They didn't receive it. The Most High, the Lord Yahawah, he didn't just say that you didn't hear it, because you heard it. We've been telling y'all need to keep the law. Mother's Day pagan, Father's Day pagan, Christmas, Thanksgiving, don't eat shrimp, pork, lobster, crab, crawfish, oysters. It's certain things you must do. We've been telling you, but you didn't receive it. He said you didn't receive the love of the truth. So you're going to be destroyed. That's what we just read in 2 Thessalonians, right? 25 to 75 years after the Lord Yahawah was already so-called dead. They still telling you, you better be keeping that law. Well, you didn't receive it. I've had people coming back to me all the time, 5, 6 years later, missing me, 8, 10 years later, some 12. Man, you was telling me this in 2010. Oh, okay. But I never say I told you so. I go, okay. You weren't ready to receive it. That's all I say. Well, you weren't ready to receive it then. All praise to the Most High. You still alive right now. Now you can receive it. Right? Let me get one more, right? Because how the Israelites, we're going to be the one in the end times to give you the truth. This is one of my favorite scriptures. Nehemiah chapter 8, right? Verse 8. So they, the Israelites, the men of Israel, us, so they read in the book of the law of Yahawah distinctly. This is why we take time, we break it down. We do all that stuff, right? We read in the book of the law distinctly and gave sense. When people say, how you know that's that mean? And I tell people, I'm giving you the understanding of the scriptures. We have to give you the sense. I'm giving it to you. They read in the book of the law of Yahawah distinctly and gave sense and caused them to understand the reading. Y'all have to come to us to get the understanding. Because we regenerated, we reincarnated. We already got the understanding from Yahawah back then. We're back again. Remember, the prophecy says in the end times, the prophets and the disciples, we're going to be walking the earth again. What you think? You wait. Who you waiting on? So you might be next door to Jeremiah. You might be next door to Luke and Matthew or Bartholomew. We're back here. We're back. We're giving you the understanding. We have to give it to you, not your pastor. It don't say you got to go to theology school or anything like that. All right. So with that, look, when this comes out, right? When this jab, all this stuff comes out, we'll tell you once, we're telling you again, right? And Baba Kashad, and please, I pray that the spirit of the Most High Yahawah come upon those, right? At least upon the elects. I know it's only for the elect that, look, when they push this second one, because the first one already in you, it's too late. Do not take it. And right after that, they're going to push this mark. Do not take it. It's going to be a chip they're going to try to implant. Again, do not take it. So with that, hopefully brothers and few sisters have been edified. Shalawam.